Number 1 drivers in Formula 1 is a touchy subject. Teams have always favoured one driver over the other, but not many teams are upfront about it because no driver will ever be happy as number 2. By picking one over the other, they're asking for trouble, unless they have firm control over the second driver. Think Bottas at Mercedes, he was the perfect second driver. Ferrari have made the very brave decision to pick a favourite driver for the future, and it's looking like it's going to backfire. I'll talk about that and more in today's video. The relative position of the current Ferrari drivers has always been a topic for debate. The team is the most historically significant team on the grid. Every driver says they want to win at Ferrari after growing up, watching Schumacher be adored by the Tifosi everywhere he went. Winning at Ferrari, they say, creates legends. But since Schumacher, the team has not found the same winning formula. Of course, there was Kimi Raikkonen in 2007 and nearly Felipe Massa in 2008, but neither of them created the same legacy at the team. Still, every driver that steps into a Ferrari F1 car sees themselves as the sport's next idol. In their mind, winning a championship at Ferrari is bigger than anything else the sport has to offer. The team's current pairing, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, think the exact same. Leclerc was brought to Ferrari after just one season in Formula 1. He sat alongside Sebastian Vettel to absorb everything he could from the 4-time drivers' champion. Ferrari saw something in him and decided that he would be the team's next great hope. Carlos Sainz didn't join the team until he had 6 seasons of experience under his belt. Some good results at McLaren caught the Scuderia's attention, and when Ferrari come calling, there are very few drivers who say no, even if it does mean leaving your best bro Lando Norris. Since Charles and Carlos have been on the team together, Ferrari have been very careful to not say they have a number 1. In fact, Matteo Binotto explicitly said they didn't while he was there, not that many people believed him of course. In terms of the head-to-head between the two, Charles has beaten Carlos 2 seasons to 1 so far, with the Spaniard only getting the advantage over the Monegasque in 2021. This season though, they were only separated by 6 points, and Carlos Sainz secured the only non-Red Bull win of the season. Despite their relatively close performance, Charles has always been viewed as the Ferrari Golden Boy from outside of the team. He was the one brought into the team at an incredibly young age and given the chance to shine, and at times has impressed in that position. It's probably the worst kept secret on the grid that Leclerc is Ferrari's number 1, for better or for worse. Now though, Ferrari have publicly said who their number 1 driver is in the most brutal way possible. Charles Leclerc has reportedly agreed a new 5-year contract with Ferrari, which would take him to 10 years racing in F1 for the Scuderia. The Monegasque driver's current deal expires at the end of next season, but the Scuderia are keen to tie their main man down to a bumper fresh contract. Italian outlet Gazzetta dello Sport reported that Leclerc has agreed a new contract, with his salary starting at €25 million or $27.05 million, and due to rise to €50 million by the final year in 2029. Gazzetta dello Sport are a very reliable source for Ferrari news, so this contract is the real deal. The report also details that performance-related exit clauses would be enforced after 3 years, so following the 2027 season. La Gazzetta claims that an official announcement of the new deal is imminent. This is a massive new contract for the driver. 5-year contracts aren't given out every day in Formula 1. Verstappen may have one at Red Bull, and Lance Stroll may as well have a million-year contract, but they're still incredibly rare in the sport, with 2- or 3-year deals being by far the most common. Before Hamilton and Russell signed new deals at Mercedes, Toto Wolff had pursued the idea of having Leclerc join his team, and there is no doubt that Red Bull would have considered him for a seat alongside Verstappen as well. With 5 race wins to his name, Charles Leclerc has proven himself to be an immensely talented Formula 1 driver, and this new contract is Ferrari's way of recognizing that. The interesting part of this though is the 3-year exit clause. In Formula 1, these normally go both ways. So in 3 years' time, if Leclerc isn't meeting Ferrari's expectations, which will be laid out in very clear terms in his contract, then Ferrari could replace him. On the flip side, if the team fails to deliver a competitive car to Charles, he will be able to break the contract as well. The timing of that break clause is significant as well. At the end of the 2027 season, we will have had 2 years of racing under the new regulations. If Ferrari fails to be competitive with the new hybrid engines, then Leclerc will be able to go elsewhere to find a more competitive drive. Whether Leclerc chooses to leave, Ferrari replace him, or he stays at the team into his 30s, this massive contract does more than one thing. It says Ferrari value Charles Leclerc far higher than they do Carlos Sainz. Ferrari aren't fronting up the money to keep Carlos Sainz on for 5 more years. They're offering the Spaniard a far less attractive contract. Sainz became the only non-Red Bull victor during the 2023 campaign when he converted pole position in Singapore and hasn't really been outdone by Leclerc while the two have been at Ferrari. If anything, he's looked the more reliable of the pair. Leclerc is capable of making magic happen, and his ceiling appears much higher than Carlos's, and does reach that ceiling a few times a season. But it is Carlos Sainz who's looked the less likely to make mistakes, and given a championship contending car, the ability to not make mistakes has won more championships than the occasional sparkle of brilliance has. At the moment, Carlos Sainz will be out of contract at the end of the 2024 season, along with over half of the rest of the grid. Ferrari are currently looking to get the Spaniard to sign on for just one more year till the end of the 2025 season. Now, you might think that's odd because surely there's going to be loads of people available at the end of 2024, but there is a reason for this. I'll get onto it in just a second. The potential salary he'll be making there hasn't been disclosed, but you can bet your bottom dollar it isn't anything like Leclerc's 25 million euros a year. Sainz is insistent he wants to stay at the team and is pushing for a minimum of a 2-year contract, but that would cause Ferrari problems. The important thing about having a free seat on your team at the end of 2025 is that Lando Norris will be out of contract at that point as well. It's no secret that every team on the grid is eyeing up a move for the young McLaren driver, who appears to have the skills required to be a world champion one day. Red Bull have publicly said they want him and currently have one seat free in 2025. They've even had Max Verstappen trying to convince him to come to the team. Mercedes have both drivers out of contract at the end of 2025 and will definitely be exploring Lando as an option. He will be the hottest property in the F1 driver market in 2025, and if Ferrari sign on Carlos till 2026, they will be out of the fight to sign him before it even starts. Publicly, Norris has stated that he wants to stay with McLaren long into the future, but every driver says that. Hamilton exploring the possibility of moving to Red Bull recently reminded everyone that Formula 1 drivers are always on the lookout for the fastest possible car. If Ferrari can show Lando they will be competitive under the new regulations from 2026 onwards, then he could be tempted away, but not if Sainz is sat in that seat. Of course, the same could go for Carlos Sainz. Publicly, he has said that he wants to continue with Ferrari for as long as possible, but reports have been linking him to ex-Alfa Romeo, now Sauber, soon to be Audi, for months. Audi have publicly said that they're exploring driver options for the team. Current Sauber drivers Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu are both out of contract at the end of 2024, just one full season from when the Audi brand will take over the team. We could see some massive F1 names sign for the historic Formula 1 team in anticipation of the big injection of money and presumably performance that will come when Audi takes over the Sauber team. Carlos Sainz is just the kind of driver they could pick up, but the 29-year-old rebuffed those reports. It surprises me a lot hearing things about 2026 when I don't even have a contract for 2025, he told Spanish newspaper Marca back in April. It surprises me that people invent things so much. In some ways, it makes me laugh. In other ways, it annoys me that there are these uncorroborated rumors. Nobody will ever go to that journalist that started the rumor and verify it, because the aim is to stay at Ferrari for many years. I'm very comfortable here. I'm living a dream, and this is my objective. Despite his rebuttal of the rumors, he is the perfect candidate. He is experienced and a race winner, which are great assets to have on any team. He's also not the favoured driver on his team. Ferrari have shown that by giving Charles a big money 5-year contract. Every F1 driver believes they can beat their teammate, but when you aren't wanted by the team you're driving for, like Sainz finds himself, would you not be tempted to take a gamble on a massive motorsport name like Audi? What do you think of Ferrari making Charles Leclerc their #1 driver? Has he done enough to deserve it, or is Ferrari making a mistake by pushing Carlos Sainz out? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.